Good morning. It is Wednesday, February 12th. And today I was looking in a little tiny book in the Bible that nobody hardly ever talks about. It's Ezra, Ezra. And it's pretty much right in the middle of the Bible. And yet, when I looked at it, it is a very important piece of the history and um, and the predictions and the prophets and everything. It all kind of comes together in Ezra, because just before that, um, Jerusalem, the Temple of Jerusalem, was completely destroyed, and they were taken hostage by Babylonians, and so they were, they were all, well, anyway, Ezra, after about quite a long time, looks like 70 years, Ezra is when they finally got free, and they finally were able to rebuild the temple again. And that's just like such a little part, but if you read just a little bit of Chronicles and then into Ezra, and I can see why people don't want to read it, because there's a whole bunch of names. How, and sometimes the Bible does this because it is important to the genealogy and everything, but it tells all these names for a few pages, and people don't like to read names for that they don't understand or know. But even if you don't read that part, you can see there's kings involved, and people who are trying to build the temple, and they're trying to serve their purpose for God, because God has told them to rebuild the temple. And they run into a lot of resistance. Adversaries of Judah and Benjamin, which are two of the tribes of Israel. When those adversaries heard that the descendants of the captivity were building the temple, they came up, and first they said, well, let us build it with you. And, kind of like trying to infiltrate the people. But they said, nope, we're going to do this. This is the way we're supposed to do it. We're going to do it by ourselves. Well, then they got kind of mad, and then next thing you know, they're hiring counselors, which I think they mean lawyers, and others, to try to mess them up, and they just keep giving them a lot of resistance to building this temple. And then finally they send a letter to a king, and they say, listen, king, and they appealed to the king in financial ways. They said, they're not going to pay taxes, and you're not going to gain any money from this. This is going to be a rebellious people if you let this happen. And so the king, he was trying to stop it. And then he says that the city may not be built, because it was going to be the city of Jerusalem, but they had to build the temple first, which is, Jerusalem was all about the temple. And then finally, they got some prophets, and they eventually finally got the temple built. But it just goes to show you that even when God gives you a distinct purpose of what you have to do, you're going to come up with a lot of resistance, and you just have to keep going. And people, if they can't find one way to do it, people will come at you another way and another way, and until and you just can't give up. You have to continue to have the faith, and you have to continue to say, this is my purpose, and I'm going to serve it. And as long as you know that it is for God, and you and God are right, you don't need to worry about anybody else. God will take care of it. If this is meant to be, God will make sure it gets done. And he did. And then they made the temple, and the people, they did everything right. Then they sacrificed, and they prayed, and they asked for protection, and the only thing is, then they found, they said some people were married to women who believed in pagan gods, and so they had to clean that up. uh, because these people, this was a brand new temple and a new start for Jerusalem. And so they had to take care of their wives. And um, it continues to tell even the names of those who had the wives. And you know, and it's something that you sort of want to just gloss over and go to something else. But if you have time and if you have interest, um, it might be interesting to see what they all. Ezra's only, let's see here, it's 10 chapters. You don't have to read all the names. You can skim past. I'm not giving you permission. You can do whatever you want. But there are some very interesting parts. And if you have trouble, if you're having a lot of resistance trying to do something, maybe it will comfort you, maybe it will inspire you, maybe it will surprise you, but pray about it. Ask God to bless your plans and bless your purpose and to show you without a doubt that this is what you need done. And if He wants you to do it, it will get done, no matter what all those other people say. So you think about that. Have a great day, and God bless you.